Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin in the name of Almighty Allah, the most magnificent, the ever merciful. We glorify Him, we praise Him, and of course we elevate His name as He ought to be elevated. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I extend to you the eternal and of course the universal salutation of peace. May the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be upon you and yours. A most pleasant good morning going out to you on this beautiful Friday morning. It is of course the day of Jum'ah. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours. It is of course now the end of the week as well, heading full speed towards the weekend. As always, I do hope and pray that you are healthy, well, enjoying a period of happiness and prosperity, a period of well-being. Well, I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, here in your company once again on this auspicious and holy day of Friday, the day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, before we go any further, I take the opportunity to say a very special thank you going out to Pandit Shivan Hari Prasad for those beautiful and those wonderful words of inspiration and motivation. And of course, as we always tend to do here on the program, we do wish him a safe and a speedy trip back home. All praises are due to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the magnificent, the merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. O Allah, it is you do we worship, and from you only do we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed your favor, not the path of those who have evoked your anger, nor the path of those who have gone astray. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Well, today's Islamic date is the 18th day in the month of Dhul Qa'dah, which of course is the 11th month on the Islamic calendar. We are currently in the year 1446. And of course, we are coming now very close to the end of this month. We have now gone past the halfway mark, and we are getting ourselves ready, to enter the next month, which of course will be the final month on the Islamic calendar, the month of Hajj. That season is basically bearing down upon us, the season of Eid al-Adha. That of course is coming up in a few short weeks. May Allah continue to preserve life. May Almighty Allah grant us the health and the ability that we are able to witness that very special period coming up towards the end of the Islamic calendar. Today also coincides with the third Friday in the month of May for the year 2025. The days are rolling by, the weeks are rolling by, the months are rolling by as well. And year after year, it is very important that you take time to reflect upon your life. May Almighty Allah make it easy upon us, and may Allah continue to shower us with His utmost blessings and mercies. Well, at this point, as we are now getting ready to commence the holy day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago, of course, I take the opportunity now to officially welcome you live on air, live on the internet, live across our social feeds as well on Facebook and on YouTube for this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations. Your program for inspiration, information, education and entertainment. Whatever you do, stick around. Of course, I've got lots to share with you as we continue on with this wonderful hour, Soul Inspirations, right here on 103.1 FM.
طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داع. Oh, the white moon rose over us from the valley of Wada, and we owe it to show gratefulness where the call is to Allah. طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داع. رسول الله حبيب الله نبي الله شفيع الله رسول الله حبيب الله نبي الله شفيع الله صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير دار أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير دار
أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير دار
رسول الله حبيب الله نبي الله شفيع الله رسول الله حبيب الله نبي الله شفيع الله صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم Oh, you who were raised amongst us, coming with a word to be obeyed. You have brought to this city nobleness. Welcome, best caller to God's way.
أيها المبعوث فينا جئت بالأمر المطاع جئت شرفت المدينة مرحبا يا خير دار طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله دار
رسول الله حبيب الله نبي الله شفيع الله رسول الله حبيب الله نبي الله شفيع الله صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم طلع البدر علينا من ثنيات الوداع وجب الشكر علينا ما دعا لله داع
Yes, indeed, you are tuned into Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM with yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani. And as always, I must say it's indeed an absolute honor and, of course, a personal pleasure to be in your company once again for around about the next hour or so. Thank you so much for the wonderful messages I have received thus far, both via the WhatsApp number 299413 and, of course, via our social feeds as well on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much for those beautiful messages. I say to you right back at you as well. Well, the program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, Point Fortune Hardware Limited, Nicer Brand Products Limited, The Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Absolute Investments Limited and Trinilink Solutions Limited. Well, on the program this morning, of course, we've got a very, very intriguing segment as always lined up for you. We've got our short inspirational segment coming up just around the corner. We've got the early morning call to prayer as well. I've got a few beautiful Islamic selections lined up for you as well. Later on in the program, as we get into our short lecture segment, this morning I'm talking about the concept that you should not support your child in wrongdoing. Don't support your child in wrongdoing. That's our discussion point for this morning. A very, very important talking point. And that, of course, is coming up in a very short bit as we get into our lecture segment a bit later on in the program. Well, thank you so much for the pleasure of your company. Once again, this is Soul Inspirations. And, of course, Juma Mubarak going out to you as well. Of course, continue to keep it locked on to 103.1 FM. I'm yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani.
एक बार ही दिखा दो आका मुझे मदीना, बेशक बना लो आका मेहमान दो घड़ी का। अगर मिल गई मुझको राहे मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा। अकीदत से काबे में सर को झुका कर निगाहों से पाबे हरम चूम लूंगा। अगर मिल गई मुझको राहे मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा। जो तय करके आएंगे राहे मदीना, मिला लूंगा मैं उनके सीने से सीना। जो तय करके आएंगे राहे मदीना, मिला लूंगा मैं उनके सीने से सीना। जिन आँखों ने देखा है तैबा का मंजर, वो आँखें खुदा की कसम चूम लूंगा। जिन आँखों ने देखा है तैबा का मंजर, वो आँखें खुदा की कसम चूम लूंगा। अगर मिल गई मुझको राहे मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा। मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ इश्क़ नबी हो, जो गम मुझको इसमें मिले वो खुशी हो। मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ इश्क़ नबी हो, जो गम मुझको इसमें मिले वो खुशी हो। इसी गम की राहों में आंखें बिछा कर मैं पलकों से खाके हरम चूम लूंगा। इसी गम की राहों में आंखें बिछा कर मैं पलकों से खाके हरम चूम लूंगा। अगर मिल गई मुझको राहे मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा। मेरे दिल को है बस नबी से अकीदत, किसी दिन तो जागेगी मेरी भी किस्मत। मेरे दिल को है बस नबी से अकीदत, किसी दिन तो जागेगी मेरी भी किस्मत। जो आएंगे करके सफरे मदीना, मैं खुश हो के उनके कदम चूम लूंगा। जो आएंगे करके सफरे मदीना में खुश हो के उनके कदम चूम लूंगा। अगर मिल गई मुझको राह मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा। अकीदत से काबे में सर को झुका कर निगाहों से बाबे हरम चूम लूंगा। अगर मिल गई मुझको राह मदीना, मोहम्मद का नक्शे कदम चूम लूंगा।
Allah's blessings on you and yours on this wonderful Jummah day, wonderful Friday. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours, of course, as we look forward to another day in our lives. We thank the Almighty for all of His blessings, all of His bounties, those blessings that we know about, those blessings that we don't know about, those blessings that we acknowledge, and those blessings that sometimes we tend to ignore. We express our gratitude unto the Almighty. As you go through the course of your life, remember that you are in charge of your life. Almighty Allah has given you the power. You have the power in your hands to make a positive change. You are in charge of maintaining your peace. You are in charge of maintaining your happiness. And you are in charge of moving forward in a positive manner. Sometimes you can go through some really, really dark times. But somehow, if you are able to connect yourself with the Almighty, you will find the motivation and the drive to hold on. Sometimes in life, you literally have to find a reason to be happy. You have to find a reason to smile. So as you go through the course of your life, my message to you is simply find the lessons to be learned in whatever you are going through in life. Don't ever let the hard times darken your spirits. And above all, always maintain a grateful heart. For those with a grateful mindset tend to find the message in all the best that they are surrounded with. And even though life may knock you down, if you are grateful, you will find the small reasons to pick yourself back up. So on this blessed day of Jum'ah, I say to you and yours, Jummah Mubarak, and may Allah continue to bless you in every possible manner. I also want to take the opportunity as well to say a very special thank you going out to the sponsors. The program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, Point Fortin Hardware Limited, Nicer Brand Products Limited, The Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Canupia, and Trinilink Solutions Limited. Well, with that being said, just around the corner, we've got our inspirational segment coming up. Definitely do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM. You are listening to Soul Inspirations, and I'm yours truly, Imam Safar Askani. So I want to start off this morning by reminding you of the story of David and Goliath. A very popular story. The narration goes, the two armies were locked in battle. When the two armies faced each other, Goliath, this huge giant of a man, challenged any soldier from the opposing army to single combat. Goliath also wanted to show off his strength and power. The men were terrorized and no one had enough courage to volunteer to face him. When the king saw this, as an incentive, he offered the hand of his beautiful daughter in marriage to the man who would fight Goliath. But even this tempting offer did not change the deadly silence among all his soldiers. After a while, to everyone's surprise, a mere youth stepped forward. A young boy. Seeing this, of course, roars of laughter echoed from not just the enemy's side, but even the king's men as well shook their heads. The young man was none other than David, or Dawood, as he is referred to in the Quran. He stepped forward with no armor, with no weapons, nothing to protect him. All he had in his possession was a slingshot and a few pebbles. The king himself was worried about him, and he asked him, how on earth are you going to defend yourself against this monster of a man, this giant with just a sling and a couple of stones? Well, David or Dawood replied that I have full trust that the Almighty will certainly protect and guide me. Of course, when Goliath set eyes on this young man, who of course looked like nothing more than a mere boy, he laughed and he said loudly, "Is this the best that you can put forward to challenge me?" On hearing this, David and Dawood shouted back that you may have your armor, you may have your shield, you may have your sword, but my weapon is trust in the Almighty. I fear you not, and I face you in the name of the Almighty, the Lord of the world. And today you will see that it is not the sword that kills, but the will and the power of Almighty Allah. And of course, so saying, he took his sling, he placed a pebble from his pouch into the sling, he aimed it at Goliath, and then he let the pebble fly. The pebble shot from the sling with the speed of an arrow, and it hit Goliath right on the head with great force, and in the blink of an eye, the monster of a man, the giant of a man, Goliath, dropped flat down to the ground, lifeless, even before he had a chance to draw his sword. In the blink of an eye, Dawood or David became a hero overnight. Now this story gives us our lesson for today. And it is quite simply that when you go through life, you will be faced with many hurdles and obstacles. The one thing you want to maintain is that you should have fear for absolutely no one. You should have fear for absolutely nothing. And you should put your full trust in the Almighty that He will guide you through. Fear. One of the enemy's most popular weapons that he can use against you. Worry, anxiety, fear, all of the above can overwhelm you with a thick shadow of darkness, controlling your every move, controlling your every thought, and controlling your every decision. There are so many crazy things going on in the world around us today. Wars, conflicts, persecution, violence, crime, natural disasters, economic uncertainty, employment, and so on and so forth. We fear for our children's future. We fear for our families. We fear for our financial future. And we fear for our own safety. And the list can go on and on. There actually is a whole lot of things that we could potentially worry about in our day-to-day lives. Yet reality tells us that so much of what we spend our time worrying about never ever materializes in our lives and never ever happens. Living under the weight of what if is a very hard place to dwell in. What if this was to happen? What if that was to happen? What if this was to happen? And you tend to live your life revolving in the realm of what if. People in this world, of course, will try to threaten you. They will try to intimidate you. They will try to frighten you. They will try to bully you and pressure you and push you around. Don't fear anyone except Allah. Place your trust in the Almighty. Of course, there are so many things going on in the world. And because of those things, sometimes you may tend to feel weak. Because you feel vulnerable sometimes. And that pushes you to place your reliance on people. And sometimes you think people can help you. Now, the reality is that there are so many situations in the world where not even the most powerful countries can control. And in those situations, we are reminded of the power of the Almighty. And we are reminded of a very, very important question. Who really is in control? In today's era, there is always a struggle for power. I want to be stronger than the other individual. I want to have more power than the other person. But the question is, who really is in control? Almighty Allah is in total control. He knows what you are going through, and He will see you through it if you believe in Him and if you trust Him. So don't fear anyone but the Almighty. With Almighty Allah on your side, remember that everything is possible and you have absolutely nothing to fear. Like they say, who Allah blesses, no man can curse. And those who do not place their trust in Allah are vulnerable to many forms of fear. They fear what others will say. They fear what other people will think and do. They fear the uncertainties of life, the downs that everyday life will bring, the fear of failure, the fear of pain, the fear of rejection, etc., etc. So Almighty Allah has given us this very, very short life, and it is important for us to understand that the rules of the game of life are quite simple. Always have full trust in the Almighty. Never live in fear of anything or anyone. Be conscious of what you are thinking so that you can always think positively. Do everything that you do for the love of doing it. And if you devote yourself, if you devote your time, and if you devote your energy to something that is positive, I can assure you, have no doubts that you simply cannot lose. Well, at this point on the program, we now go to the early morning call to prayer. The early morning call to prayer is being brought to you this morning through the kind courtesies of Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Cunupia.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الصلاة خير من النوم. لا إله إلا الله.
The program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, Point Fortin Hardware Limited, Nicer Brand Products Limited, The Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Absolute Investments Limited, and Trinilink Solutions Limited. Definitely do stick around. This is Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM. Coming up in a very short bit, we've got our lecture segment, and this morning we are talking about don't condone the wrongs of your child, don't condone the wrongs of your children. That is our talking point for this morning, a very important talking point. So that's coming up in a very, very short bit. Do stick around. This is Soul Inspirations right here on 103.1 FM.
ولن ترى عينك في الدنيا مثل سماء وتجري من تحتها أنهار عدن ترى وعطرها مسك يريح هواها سلام فلن يأتي حلمك قربا بما قد رأى مع الحبيب أن أراه في أبوابها وأمتي أن أراها في دار السلام فيا إله I pray for Jannah, 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 Jannah I pray for Jannah, 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 Jannah I raise my hands in the air I'll make a prayer I pray for Jannah, 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 Jannah Just to see him standing with the Salihin welcoming them And then he motions to me to come forward and drink from his hands But I'll be motionless just staring at this most beautiful man Who saved me from hellfire pleading to Allah Ya Ummati So blessed slave enter Jannah for eternity Look what Allah's mercy and blessings have brought This is what you strive for, what you sent for I wanna go where no eyes never seen, no ears never heard, no mind can imagine Paradise, no more tests, no more tears, no more trials Paradise, just to hold my mother in my arms Paradise, where I'll gaze into my children's eyes Paradise, gardens beneath where rivers will flow Paradise,
لب پہ آتی ہے دعا بن کے تمنا میری، لب پہ آتی ہے دعا بن کے تمنا میری، زندگی شمع کی صورت ہو خدایا میری، زندگی شمع کی صورت ہو خدایا میری، ہو میرے دم سے یوں ہی میرے وطن کی زینت، ہو میرے دم سے یوں ہی میرے وطن کی زینت، جس طرح پھول سے ہوتی ہے چمن کی زینت، جس طرح پھول سے ہوتی ہے چمن کی زینت، زندگی ہو میری پروان کی صورت یا رب، زندگی ہو میری پروان کی صورت یا رب، علم کی شمع سے ہو مجھ کو محبت یا رب، علم کی شمع سے ہو مجھ کو محبت یا رب، ہو میرا کام غریبوں کی حمایت کرنا، درد مندوں سے ضعیفوں سے محبت کرنا، میرے میرے اللہ برائی سے بچانا مجھ کو، نیک جو راہ ہو اس راہ پہ چلانا مجھ کو، نیک جو راہ ہو اس راہ پہ چلانا مجھ کو، میرے اللہ برائی سے بچانا مجھ کو، نیک جو راہ ہو اس راہ پہ چلانا مجھ کو، لب پہ آتی ہے دعا بن کے تمنا میری، زندگی شمع کی صورت ہو خدایا میری، لب پہ آتی ہے دعا بن کے تمنا میری، زندگی شمع کی صورت ہو خدایا میری۔ میں بھٹکا ہوا تھا، پریشان تھا میں، سہارا بھی مجھ کو ملا تھا نہ کوئی، تجھے میں نے سب کے دلوں میں جو ڈھونڈا، ملا مجھ کو اپنے ہی دل کے کنارے، یا اللہ یا اللہ یا اللہ یا رحیم یا کریم، زمیں کے حسن میں شرابور تھا میں، اٹھاتا تھا سر ڈھونڈتا تھا میں تجھ کو، پہاڑوں ستاروں بدلتی فضاؤں کو جب میں نے سمجھا، ملا مجھ کو تو ہی، یا اللہ یا اللہ یا اللہ یا رحیم یا کریم، یا رحیم یا کریم، माफ कर दे मुझको भी तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब हाँ करीब या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब हाँ करीब लगा के ये दिल मैंने दुनिया से देखा फिर ऐसा हुआ दिल लगाया ये तुझसे ना दर में ना शहर में ना अपने ही घर में मिला जो सुकून कलब तेरे घर में या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या रहीम या करीम या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब हाँ करीब या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब हाँ करीब या रहीम या करीम माफ कर दे मुझको भी तू ही तो बस मेरे है सबसे करीब हाँ करीब या रहीम
Welcome back. I'm yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani, host of this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment on this beautiful Friday morning, the day of Jum'ah. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours. May the peace, blessings, and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Well, at this point on the program, we now get into our lecture segment. And like I mentioned before, this morning, we're talking about a very, very important topic. We are talking about the concept that you should not condone or you should not support your child in wrongdoing. Now, I'm pretty sure if we were to look around in our communities, we would find many, many things wrong. Many things wrong about our communities. Many things that are happening that, we can clearly identify as not being right. And one of the things that will contribute towards the downfall of our communities is when an adult or a parent condones the wrong that the child is doing. And that's a very, very important concept. As parents, as guardians, or caretakers, we all want the best for our children. And parenting is one of the most rewarding and also challenging roles in life. Many times, out of love, parents make the mistake of defending their child, even when the child is clearly in the wrong. Of course, the intention may be to protect the child. The result, on the other hand, can be harmful both to the child and to society as well. To support your child in wrongdoing, not only is it detrimental in and of itself, it also gives birth to many, many ills and many wrongs within the community. So first of all, it is very important to understand your role as a parent. Start by remembering what is the role of a parent. The role of the parent is to nurture, to protect, to teach, to guide, to discipline, and to develop character. Being a parent does not mean blindly defending your child, but shaping them into a responsible, a kind, and an honest individual. Of course, we want to protect them. Of course, we love them. Of course, we want to help them to succeed. But sometimes, in the name of love, we end up encouraging behaviors that are harmful and detrimental, not only to themselves, but to others as well. And it is very important to understand that there is a difference. There is a huge difference between loving your child and blindly supporting them. Love corrects, love guides, and love teaches right from wrong. When you support a child's mistake or bad behavior, you are not loving them. You are enabling them with negativity. You are empowering them with negativity. Protecting them from consequences may feel like care. In your mind, it may feel like love, but it can most definitely cause long-term damage to their character. Sometimes it is good to sit your child or your children down and say to them, look, if you want my support, you've got my 100% support, as long as you are doing the right thing. And say to them that you cannot possibly ask for my support if you are doing the wrong thing. And that is a line that you should draw very clear in the sand, so to speak. And if you were to consider a few examples, if a child cheats in an exam and the parents defend them instead of helping them to understand the value of honesty, a teenager bullies someone and then the parent says, my child would never do that without investigating. A child breaks something or steals something, and instead of correcting them, the parent tries to cover it up. In all of these situations, what message is the child receiving? They learn that they can do wrong, they can get away from it, they can do wrong without consequences, and that someone will always clean up the mess after them. And that is a wrong message to be sending to them. Get them to understand consequences. Teach them to be accountable. If they are not accountable, if they don't understand the concept of consequences, they may grow up with a lack of discipline. They may develop poor moral judgment. They may lose respect for others and even for themselves as well. They become adults who are not responsible, they are not honest, they are not empathetic. And they tend to want to do all of the wrong things without thinking about the consequences that can unfold thereafter. So again, the role of the parents is to teach values. The parent is a coach for life. The parent is a mirror of what is right and wrong. The parent is a role model to nurture and protect, to teach and guide, to discipline and to develop character. And if you find that your child is leaning towards that which is wrong, it is important to stay calm but firm. Don't react in anger, but don't ignore it either. Don't sweep it under the carpet. Listen to their side, but don't accept excuses for bad behavior. Teach them accountability. Let them face the consequences. Guide them to make amends, whether that's apologizing or fixing something or learning from it. Praise honesty and improvement, but do not praise ill habits. When you correct your child with love and wisdom, they tend to learn morals and ethics. They become more responsible, they become respectful, they are able to become disciplined individuals, they are able to learn self-control, they're able to learn empathy. They grow into admirable adults who in the end will tend to make good decisions in life. So in conclusion, never support your child in wrongdoing. Love them enough to correct them. Love them enough to guide them to that which is right. Love them enough to say, that was wrong what you did and we need to fix it, because one day your child will thank you for not covering up their mistakes. They will thank you for helping them to become better human beings. Protect their future, not their mistakes. Love them enough to correct them. Guide them with truth. Guide them with positivity. And do not enshroud them and do not cover them with lies. Your child may be upset in the moment, because it's human nature that no one likes to be corrected. So in the moment, the child might be upset, but one day they will look back and they will thank you for being the parent who helped them to become a good human being. They will thank you for guiding them to goodness, and they will thank you for safeguarding them from evil and from harm upon the face of the earth. May Almighty Allah continue to guide us. May Almighty Allah make it possible that we can continue to evolve into good human beings, and we can continue to aspire to be the best versions of ourselves, not just in this world, but also in the life of the hereafter. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours.
तू ही तो चाहत मेरी, तू है मेरा सुकून, तू ही तो राहत मेरी, तू है मेरा जुनून, तू ही रातों में है मेरी, तू ही बातों में है मेरी, किसी और को नहीं, मैं बस तुझको ही मानूं, तेरा मैं हो जाऊं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, तेरी ही बात कहूं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, सजदे सर झुकता है, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, तेरा मैं हो जाऊं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, चाहत मुझे दे दे, जन्नत मुझे दे दे, मेरी बातों में यादों में तू, रब्बा तू है मेरा, सोनिया वे रब्बा, तेरी इबादत करूं रात दिन, रब्बा मेरे सोनिया, अखा मेरी तरस दिया, सोनी जन्नत विच तेनू तक लेवा, तेरा मैं हो जाऊं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, तेरी ही बात कहूं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, सजदे सर झुकता है, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं, तेरा मैं हो जाऊं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं. Nobody can take away my pyar for you. Your love and your pyar is the one that's true. Everybody go to सा नहीं जानते, I can talk forever to सा नहीं थकते. शुक्र है तेरा रब्बा. तेरा मैं हो जाऊं, रब्बा मैं क्या करूं.
Well, as we are coming to the end of the program for this morning, I want to take the opportunity to say a very special thank you going out to the sponsors. The program this morning has been brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, Point Fortune Hardware Limited, Nicer Brand Products Limited, The Original Barbecue Hut Limited, Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Canupia, and Trinilink Solutions Limited. And of course, I must also take the opportunity as well to say a very, very special thank you. Very special salams and greetings of peace going out to you and yours, our listeners and viewers who would have joined us on the program this morning, to everyone who would have messaged on the program, both on the WhatsApp and of course on our social feeds on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for your beautiful messages. Thank you so much for your kind words, your greetings. Jummah Mubarak going out to you and yours. May the blessings of the Almighty be with you now and forever. Of course, it was indeed an absolute pleasure to be in your company over the past hour or so. By all means, do catch me next week Friday from 5 a.m. as we bring to you another episode of Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education and entertainment. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, signing out for this morning Until next week Friday, please do have an extremely blessed day, a blessed weekend. Stay safe, stay in the mercy of Almighty Allah. Much love, and may the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Up next is News at 6, followed by Prabhat. By all means, do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM for more inspirational and motivational programming throughout the course of today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every night in my dreams, I pray that I see you. That is what I ask, Allah. Far across the distance and spaces between us, I want to see your face.